We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Drop the mic with Jason Hunt.
So your background is an analytics consultant, right? Tell me about your journey into being an analytics consultant and now an AI-powered SaaS founder.
So I'm originally an aerospace engineer by education. I'm a maths guy. I've always liked maths. I didn't like programming that much. And then I discovered that you can program maths. And that's how I became a data analytics machine learning expert. I worked in lots of industries. I worked in the manufacturing sector for about 3.5 years. I worked in the telecom sector. I worked in digital marketing. I helped a digital marketing agency create their first business intelligence and data engineering department to automate some of the digital marketing reporting that was done over there. And then I founded with Analytica, that was and is a data analytics managed services company, which means that for customers that want to automate some of their reports and take away some of the repetitive grunt work, we help them and set up for them dashboards so they don't have to do it manually in Excel.
Tell me more about the digital marketing side of it, the automations that you created, the ways that you used your analytical skills to increase efficiencies at the digital marketing agency.
So that period, it was a digital marketing agency working a lot for Samsung Europe.
Samsung.
And imagine Samsung, yeah.
Samsung, okay.
So looking at the European market, they wanted to be aware of everything that was going on their websites and the websites of the retailers. As you can imagine, whenever there was a new phone launched, it was very important to be able to gauge the reaction of the people, to see the level of engagement on the pre-campaign, on the teaser campaign, during the night of the launch, and then whatever was happening on your websites, e-shops or not, and on the websites of the retailers. So most of the reports have had to do with the visits and the visibility and the traffic and stuff, how sticky it was. And the other part of the reporting had to do with competition analysis and the visibility on the websites of the retailers. Like, where are the phones, the Samsung phones, compared to the iPhones and compared to the Huawei phones? Are we getting any better visibility, right? And the problem is that in order to answer all these questions, and it also, they were interested in customer reviews and ratings and comments. So these are distinct platforms, distinct places, but the executive team wanted to have like a single dashboard showing it all. Like, did we did good, right? And in order to do that, like, we would couple and connect on all the underlying platforms, Google Analytics and Adobe Analytics, and it was BrandView and SimilarWeb and all other tools to extract the data and put it in a single place. And it's not only this challenge, but for instance, you have this type of very natural questions like, 7 days after the launch, did we do any better compared to the previous launch? And that's not something that you can customize easily. Like, if you want to compare how your S10 launch went compared to the S9, you can't like do a one-click report, one-click customization and have your answer. And this is why we had to like extract and massage the data to bring it under the right format.
So given that experience, where do you think, a lot of like small businesses are overlooking analytics? Maybe they're not looking or even thinking about analytics, because that seems like Samsung's a massive company. And for you to connect those dots to so somebody that needs to see that data at a glance can easily see it, is something that should be important to a lot of smaller businesses. Are there things that maybe small businesses should be looking at, or ways they can really analyze their data to figure out what's working?
Yes. So as a small business, as you start. You don't have that many data sources, and neither should you. You need to be very careful how you start, because you don't have the firepower and the marketing budgets of a large company. So you need to be very picky with the type of campaigns, with the consultant, with the SEO that you want to do, with the website that you want to build. You need to find a good expert that guides you into, let's just talk SEO, the right keywords that are achievable for you, right? So this is not necessarily about being on top of everything, because there's no everything. It's more being very picky, because in marketing experiments, in marketing and advertising, experiments are crazy expensive. And you cannot just experiment forever. And most often than not, you have to do it right the first time. So it's super important, because it's a make it or break it type of experiment.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we see that all the time, right? It's like, I have $1,000 to spend. Where should I spend it? Well, you can't spread $1,000 very far. You
Yes.
can't spread it thin either. You kind of got to focus on one avenue first. And then I guess my question for you, Christian, is how do you figure out, what do you go about, or what's the process of figuring out which platform is working best for you when it comes to testing out different platforms and analyzing which platform, whether it's SEO, Google Ads, Meta Ads, is working best? Do you have like a blueprint in terms of how you go about testing with a smaller budget? I recently returned from speaking at a conference about AI and marketing, and my inbox went absolutely bonkers with people requesting my presentation slides. Now, here's the thing. Instead of emailing slides to dozens of people, I decided to do something better. I launched Amplify Your Brand on School. It's where I'm sharing the AI tools that actually work, not the garbage everyone's hyping about. The exact processes our agency uses to save 15 plus hours every week. Real strategies that drive results. You'll get my slides for my presentations, weekly live business audits, and access everything we do at Merged Media. No fluff, no BS, just what works. If you want to learn more, go check out Amplify Your Brand on School. That's school, SKOOL.com/AYB. See you on the inside.
So now, word of caution, my area of expertise is not doing paid media. So I'm just like coming from a data analytics perspective and coming from a small business owner perspective. Also, I have some friends that one of them is a barber, the other one has a medical clinic that he just got off the ground, and I'm seeing some of the challenges. So this is the experience I'm talking from. When you do something super visual, it needless to say, you need to be on Instagram. Like if you cook, you need to be there. If you're a doctor and you have the before and after type of results, you need to be there. You need to show. If there's something to be shown, then you need to show it. Now, if people need to find you easily, you need to be on Google My Business. You need to show up on Google Maps. You need to stay up on top of the contact details that you have there. I know that people are always on the lookout for like super exotic strategies, but the truth is, as a small business, you need to make sure that your Google page is updated, has your latest schedule, and the phone number works. I cannot tell you how many times, like you go into a new restaurant and you see that the schedule is not updated, it's not open when it says it should be. Or you pick up the phone, try to phone them, and they don't answer. It's these small things that you need to start with. You need to at least be sure that as people are searching for you, they're gonna find you, and you make it easy for them to find you.
People easily forget that Google, everything to do with Google, whether it's posting to your Google business profile, whether it's ensuring that the hours are up to date, ensuring these are accurate and updated frequently is a signal to Google that you're an authority in your industry. And if you're an authority in your industry, you're going to be shown more at top of the SERP. Right. And I think a lot of people forget about that, or they neglect their posting to their business, Google business profile. It's not about posting because you're going to get 100,000 impressions. It's posting as a signal to Google, right?
Yeah.
So now, I mean, where we are now, I mean, our agency has changed a lot in the last year to 2 years with the emergence of AI. And I see this in the front lines. I see a lot of businesses are struggling with the simple fact that there's just too many AI tools to learn and not enough hours in a day. It's a big problem. You see, back in 2024, the amount of people adopting AI in their workforce has actually decreased from 2024 to 2025. It's crazy, right? You'd think more people would be using AI, but actually less statistically are using AI in their small businesses. And a lot of that is from the simple fact that it's almost like paralysis by analysis, right? So how can a business go in and decide what AI tools to adopt and which ones to let go to the wayside?
I'd say a small business should firstly go for the tried and tested. Like get an entrepreneur friend or go to a meetup, talk to other entrepreneurs, ask what is it, what did work for you? Or as you scroll on TikTok, as you scroll on Instagram, as you look and find something that you like, reach out to your entrepreneur friend and ask them, like, how do you make these, like, pictures or videos? Because it's a lot out there. But at the same time, it starts to solidify a little bit. So we've had many new entrants, many new names during the last 2 years, but now it settles and we know who is who. Like we know who does the best AI generated pictures. We know who does the best AI generated videos.
Today.
So it's not, yeah, today, of course, today. Yeah, but it no longer changes that much. It might change once every 4 months, but once you have a new AI model release coming from OpenAI or a new AI model release coming from, what was that?
Gemini,
Gemini. Yeah. I mean, speaking of Gemini, if you're asking me, the latest, at least the model that I use to change pictures, like you can change the setting, the background, make it a little bit lighter and everything, I use Gemini. I think it's by far the best right now at the moment. But I think this release has been put out 2 months ago.
It's very new, very, very new, right? And I was using ChatGPT before, and I actually, a part of my presentation is I compare the image generation amongst different platforms, and Nano Banana is by far the best, and by far the best with editing an image, I find, right? Like that's always been a trouble point for a lot of these AI image generation AI platforms. It's like, make the edit. Please make that exact character, just maybe put a pencil in his hand. And somehow they put the pencil in his hand, but it turns into a blonde instead of a brunette, you know?
Yeah, yes.
It's a big
Or they turn me Mexican. It's something that I get a lot.
Yeah. So what tools do you find in your business specifically are you finding most beneficial? I mean, you're an AI expert, so you're in the front lines of this. Which AI tools have you adopted in your business and are you spending the most time with professionally?
So for marketing, to process podcast episodes and alter images, I use a combination of Gemini, Canva, Figma for images. And I use a combination of Opus Clips. I think I learned that one from you half a year ago. And
I should have had an
lately
affiliate link half a year ago. I wish I did.
yeah, you should have. You should have had.
Damn it.
And the other one is, let me check it, Descript.
Descript. Yeah.
It's the first time I'm using it. It's the first time I shot a podcast with 2 cameras from 2 angles. So I had to assemble that somehow. And I found that it helped me did that. But the language translation is not as good as in Opus Clip. So I still did that in Opus Clips. I only used it to merge the 2 video feeds.
So got it. So Descript is good for blending the 2 videos together into one, but in terms of the captions and stuff, you rely on Opus for that.
Yes, that's what I did.
Got it. What about in terms of content creation, like copy and things like that? You did mention, use Canva, but what about with the actual copy? Are you using anything for that? You prefer ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity? What are you using?
So initially I used ChatGPT. The problem is that it has a very recognizable way of writing and people got very used to it. So after a period, I switched to Claude. I found that it created more authentic, more human-like type of writing. And with ChatGPT, what I think is, you know that they have that famous, uh, what do you call that?
Headline?
Not line break.
Oh, the M
The
dash.
is that a high
M
the
dash.
M dash?
M
Yeah,
dash.
that's the
Yeah.
M dash. That's super recognizable, and it's. I think they did that. If you look at it, it has its role, and they use it exactly what they should. So I think they even said to themselves like people should know about it and use more of this. And this is why I think it's been like over engineered to make sure it uses that. And even if you specifically tell it like skip this, no longer use it, it will still do that. It can't skip the M dash.
It's so true. And you know that, and that's the thing, is that, you know, we've done testing and with meta ad copy, and we tested AI copy versus human copy. Human copy typically
Mhm.
always won in terms of generating a higher click-through rate and lower cost per click. And a lot of that derives from the simple fact that ChatGPT likes to use these overused ChatGPT words and M dashes. So people see that and it's like, oh, this is written by AI, and they'll scroll past it. But you're absolutely right. It's like, what can AI do to eliminate that? Even when you, like you said, even when you ask it to eliminate M dashes, it still likes to throw those M dashes in there. Well, I like Claude because Claude, you have a big knowledge base that you can put a lot of information in there, have it, you know, use your tone. If you bake it in the right way, have it know your personality. You can put a lot of information
Mhm.
in the Claude. So when I ask Claude to rewrite an email for me, it's rewriting an email in the way I talk and the way I speak without the over
Mhm. Mhm. Yes.
AI words, right? And so I think that is definitely the future, is people everywhere, from the most savvy marketers that are already doing this, but it's going to trickle down to the small business owners as well, where they need to start using AI in a way not just to speed up efficiency, but to enhance output.
Yes, and what I found is I think ChatGPT and these LLMs are also teaching us to write better. What I found is that the more I used it, the better I'm getting at it, to the point that like some of my posts, when I'm getting a thought and I know exactly what I want to write, I skip any LLMs altogether and I just put it out there. And sometimes it's by far the most authentic one, and it's also the crisper one. It's with those super short sticky ideas that you want to pass on, like, and also as we are talking to small business owners, something that I learned is, as you're having conversations with some customers and find yourself explaining something to a customer, make a post out of it, because chances are there are other customers that are having the same question or the same challenge or the same problem that you need to address. As you're getting some feedback from a customer, make a post to address it, because it's only that customer that verbalizes it, but surely enough it's going to be more that think about it, and you need to address it.
Let's taking that a step further. It's like, if you address that in, let's say, a social media post, and you ask your Claude project, or, you know, your chat GPT, in your tone, write me a LinkedIn post about this specific problem that I've solved. And then it's going to write you a LinkedIn post based on what it deems is a good post for LinkedIn. And then from
Mm-hmm.
there, easily give it the prompt. Now turn that LinkedIn post into a tweet, or whatever you would call it on X, you know, and then grab that and turn it into an Instagram post. It's going to add emojis and all that sort of stuff to it. Now give me a
Mm-hmm.
Facebook post. It's going to be a little bit different on a Facebook post as well. But it's such an opportunity in just a matter of literally seconds, where you can create different types of content for each platform with a simple prompt. Right. And I think a lot of people are just grabbing that one piece of copy and chucking it everywhere. It's like, no, well, every platform needs different copy for each. Right. So
So here's the best crystallized idea that I found. It's from, Let me make sure that I'm not misnaming. I need to make a shout out.
Yeah. But this is something that all small businesses should be leveraging right now, is the ability to post at scale on a frequent basis to social media and creating messaging that resonates with the audience. Like what I just said, I did right before this podcast today. I had 5 minutes to kill. I literally posted to 4 platforms in a minute.
Yeah, I know. And those are very useful. Found him. So a strategy that I learned from Ross Simmonds is he calls it create once and distribute forever. So people are always on the lookout of always creating something new, always posting something new, but it's not how it works. You need to have some main ideas and some long form materials, like a podcast episode, like a white paper, like a more robust article that you host on your website or people subscribe to in order to download it. And then you work your way back into shorter and shorter episodes, main ideas, key takeaways, either in short form or in writing, and you post those as the hooks and direct the links to the long form article. And I found that this hierarchy works best. So you need to set yourself on some 2-3 main ideas. Sometimes as a business owner, I find myself thinking, what else will I say? Like, what do I talk about the next week? What do I talk about the next couple of weeks? And the truth is that online, people need to hear several times an idea in order to get it. So most often than not, you don't have to say something new. Is maybe you say the same idea but in a different way, with an infographic, with an image, with a short video, but it's gonna be the same idea, and then pointing to the expanded version of it.
That's an excellent point. And I have an example of that. Maybe you have an example as well, specifically speaking to what you just explained. And an example could be a podcast. An example for me, like I went to Europe last month. I spent 24 hours in London. The 24 hours I spent in London had no business context at all. I went to go watch a rugby game. All right. But what I spun that into is my method for overcoming jet lag. My method for overcoming jet lag is to get over to Europe at least 24 hours prior, give myself an extra buffer day to fully recover, so I'm rejuvenated and ready to go to that event, ready to speak at that event. I created that one LinkedIn post, which turned into a blog article, which turned into an Instagram post, an Instagram story, a Facebook post, a tweet, and just that one little experience. It had nothing to do with business, but I was able to extract something of business value out of it, but turn that into a bunch of other pieces of content. And I think that's the key that you're touching on there, Christian. It's like grabbing that one little thing and expanding upon it everywhere.
Yeah. And it was authentic. It was authentic, it was not pre-planned. I found that having marketers, they talk about content plans. Like you need to, let's work on the October content plan because October just started, right? And it doesn't really work like that. If you pre-plan it, you leave no room for to be spontaneous and authentic. And it's often the ideas that you're getting from a conversation that you just had with the customer that is the valuable one. And you can't pre-plan these.
What's funny about what you just said there is that pre-planned content, because it's October 1st, it sounds more and more authentic and like AI content, which is exactly what we want to get ourselves away from. And what we want to really lean into, especially with social media content, is the authentic stuff, the stuff that's off the cuff, that stuff that's not normal, what you wouldn't pre-plan, right? And I think that's going to be the content that proves to gain more reach with the algorithms in the future, is that type of content. And we see that already on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's dive into specifically yourself as a SaaS founder, because you got a pretty interesting platform. It is niche specific to the affiliate network audience, as your ICP, but I want to explore how you came up with the idea for CatStats.ai. First and foremost, Cristian, explain what CatStats.ai is, and then dive into how it got started.
So CatStats.ai is a SaaS that's an added layer of artificial intelligence on top of tracking platforms. When you're launching an affiliate program and when you're operating an affiliate network, you have your tracking platform. Either you build it internally or you get more popular and more recently the off-the-shelf third-party solutions are more popular. But a tracking platform is going to do just that, which is tracking, help you generate those unique links that help you calculate and attribute the commission to the right affiliates. However, as I build lots of custom data analytics and dashboards, I realized that this need for staying on top of the entire network, like I want to be alerted of something as it happens and only as it happens. And most often than not, you don't even need a dashboard or a data visualization. You need an alert. You need a notification just to be alerted when something is important and needs your attention. So with all this in mind, I started building CatStats that is aimed at executives that need to understand super quickly how the network is doing. So that's the first point. And then I didn't want to keep it only as a reporting tool. I wanted to actually make a difference, which is why I built in several machine learning algorithms that, similar to how Netflix recommends you movies, understand what offers the affiliates should try next. So based on the historical performance they've had, they understand that, hey, this affiliate is missing out on these 3-4 other offers that they are not running.
So that platform is geared towards the affiliate manager to build better relationships with their affiliate clients, correct?
Yes, it's meant to take away the grunt work and make sure that the affiliate manager has enough time to entertain and build those relationships, not spend time in Excel trying to see what offer they should push, what offer they should promote, whether somebody stopped running something and things like that.
Well, as an affiliate marketer, it would be very beneficial for, if I'm an affiliate marketer, to go and see the platform myself and not have to go through an affiliate manager. Is that option available where an affiliate can go in there and be like, hey, look, I want to see what's working. Here's what I like. Here's what I've promoted in the past. I just want to see what offer I should promote next.
So it's not something that you can log into. It's not a marketplace, but what you are getting as an affiliate, you are getting emails and notifications with ultra personalized recommendations. It's an algorithm that reads your mind, and if there's an offer that is not currently available, open, or visible to you that you should run, it will uncover that. So if you had success, let's just say with one Nutra offer within a region, and there's another similar one, maybe not from the same advertiser, but with a similar payout that is a fit for you, it's gonna uncover that one. Do you know if there are affiliates that ran kind of the same offers that you did, but then some others and had success with those, they will also suggest them to you. It's something like, do you know how Netflix tells you, hey, users like you enjoy this new release. Users like you enjoy this new movie. We do the same, but with offers and affiliates. It's something like affiliates like you. Of course, the affiliates are not getting all this information, but this is the intelligence that is baked behind the platform.
I think it's brilliant. I think it's really cool when you put it that way in terms of like a Netflix user face, essentially, because it's familiar. I think that's very interesting, and especially with the recommendations, because essentially that's what the affiliate wants is they just want, well, what's next? Instead of saving me a bunch of time from doing all the research, just give it to me, right? Give it to me. And so now you're leveraging AI to come up with those suggestions. And how long have you had CatStats for? How long have you had the platform?
It's been a year now since we started development.
Talk about that process, because I'm very curious. I've built some AI tools with my agency as well, where you have an idea and then the idea just takes so long working with developers to put it to market. And for my specific case, it took so long to get to market. But by the time we put our product to market, there was so many duplicate products out there just like it, right? So we ended up just giving it to our clients for free because we couldn't monetize it.
Yeah, this can happen. The process of building a SaaS for the persons considering it or for the persons doing it. Like my way, CatStats is bootstrapped. Why is it bootstrapped? Because it started off as a spin-off from the work that we've been doing with Analytica. It helps to initially do managed services because it puts you in contact with the industry, with several companies, and it helps you discover a legitimate need. So it's not something that you think in your solitude, in isolation, that people would need. It's something that you pick up on your way and start working on that. Now, one book that I liked and that I applied, now it's been a year, but at the core, I tried applying the 7-day startup philosophy. The 7-day startup philosophy says that if you're not, the moment you launch something, if you're not ashamed of what you launched too late. So it puts a lot of emphasis on these quick and dirty things that you can build and release and put out there in order for people to see and give you feedback on. And as we started building the product, we started off with some initial hypothesis, an idea of what we think people are gonna need. And I advise people to do that because when you're building something new that doesn't exist, you can't just ask people. You know that saying from Henry Ford, if I asked my customers what they needed, they would have said they need a faster horse, not a car. This is the trick with innovation. You cannot just make people ask for it. You need to put something in front of them to get them talking, be it good or bad. It needs to be like well enough put to get them started. Because when you get them started, that's when they start asking for more. And that's when one of my surprising findings was that if you listen closely and well enough, your customers are going to teach you how to build a great product. Because you're picking up an idea from a customer, and then as you release it, 5 other customers are going to be like, whoa, but how did they know that I need this? Well, we knew because we talked to somebody like you that had the same problem, right? And if you keep on fishing for these ideas and bake them into the product, surely you're going to have a good product. Now, there are 2 types of features that we build. Coming back to the analogy, the Ford and the car and the horse. Customers are usually going to ask for faster horses. That's one set of ideas that you get that you need to build. But there are some moments when you know that they need something and they don't know they need it. It's what we did with the recommender system and the AIs. The customers would have never asked for that because they never thought this is possible. So sometimes you need to listen to your gut and say, okay, I know we have these priorities, but here's what I think you need. And then you also build that. And it's a mix. It's a mix in between what they ask for and what you know they need, but they're never going to ask for.
I absolutely love that approach to it. I love that take because, I mean, case in point, we almost felt like we had to perfect this tool before going to market, but we didn't have to perfect the tool. If we did the 7-day launch, we probably would have learned a lot about what customers actually want as opposed to us thinking what the customer actually wants. And I think that's a great insight for anybody looking to develop a SaaS tool. It's like, just launch it and let the customers tell you what they want. I think that's really good. Now, one of the big challenges as an entrepreneur and coming up with a SaaS is allocating time and prioritizing it, because you obviously have to you know, keep the lights on, put a roof over your head while you're trying to develop the SaaS tool. So how did you personally manage your time in getting this off the ground?
It's always being bootstrapped. I heard this in another podcast episode said by the CEO and founder of a tracking platform. And he said, being bootstrapped makes you constantly think of the next thing that's gonna create tangible value to your customers and that will make them pay you. When you're not raising funds, firstly, you're not losing focus, because raising funds comes with its sets of priorities and challenges, and you need to build all these decks and the 10 accelerators and talk to investors and reach out and so on and so forth. So it takes away from your focus on actually creating value from the customers. That's one point. And secondly, as you're getting that investment, you can get derailed and unfocused, because then you start like, we need a cool office and we need the bean bags and we need this coffee machine and we need this and that and this and that and this and that. And it takes away the focus from building what the customers need. So if you're getting head to head, even if you have more investment, if you're getting head to head with another competitor that is constantly focused on creating value from the customer, you might lose even if you have more funding and more runway. So that's something I never thought of it this way until I listened to that podcast episode.
Interesting. Very interesting. So now with talking about CatStats, I mean, you guys are now full steam ahead with the product. It's ready to go, right? What's the do you have a roadmap in terms of how you're promoting it? I'm curious, as a new SaaS product, how do you get it out there? Is it about the networking and ground game, going to events? Are you running meta ads, SEO? What's the game plan for marketing?
This is a great question. We're not doing SEO because there's no awareness among our potential customers that this is possible. This is not something that they're going to wake up one morning and Google for.
That's right.
When you don't know you have a problem, you're not Googling for it. So there's no point in doing that. One. And secondly, we have such a niched audience that I'd say, maybe I will stand corrected by media buyers, but the platforms, the advertising platforms, do not have the targeting capability to just reach out to those persons, because we're looking at potentially 550 customers, potentially, let's just say 1,000 decision makers that we need to reach out to. So no advertising platform is going to give us this targeted approach, which leaves us to mostly industry events, leaves us to speaking at industry events. And what I found, the way to sell a SaaS sometimes and the way to sell technology, is not necessarily through a sales pitch. It's more through thought leadership type of speeches. I learned this at Advertising Week New York last week. It was a very good company, Resonate, very good at what they do. And they were using this approach. They had both a speech by the founder and a booth. The speech was not salesy at all. They wouldn't even mention that they have a product. They wouldn't even mention that they are selling something. They would take the opportunity to make you realize that you have a problem. So it was an awareness speech where you become aware of it, and then they give you the steps and the solution to solve it yourself if you want, right? So as you're leaving their speech, you're like, okay, I didn't know I have this other problem on top of my other problems, and I need to do this and this and this and this and this and this, and it's going to cost me, like, I need 2 engineers, it's going to cost me $200,000, right? So as you're leaving the speech, You then go to their booth, and surprise, surprise, they have already solved it for you for 20 times less the cost, and you don't have to do anything. Now that's a process of being sold to that you love. Because suddenly you realize there's nothing else you need to do. You just swipe your card, boom, your problem is gone.
That's amazing, eh? They didn't even, walking into that room, you had no idea you had a problem, but you left that
Yep.
room realizing you had a problem, and the solution is at a click of a credit card or a tap of a credit card, and it's done.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. And I think you're absolutely right. What a great approach. And I think that's a great approach for CatStats as well, as you guys look to speak at more events in the year ahead. I think that's fantastic. Cristian, my last question for you here is really diving into the future of all this AI stuff, because it's coming so quick. The future of AI is coming so fast. How do you see a lot of businesses transforming in, say, the next 12 months as more and more businesses adopt AI?
One trend that I see, we're now stuck in a status quo. I was looking around in my network. I have like great friends, great experts in their areas, marketing, AI, machine learning programmers. This whole AI wave came and caught some persons having a job, having a role, or having some contracts, and some others in between roles. What I was very surprised is that the ones that are without roles are having a very hard time finding a new role. And I'm looking at them, and there's no, I've been knowing some for more than 10 years, and there's no skills difference between those. It's just that AI came and saturated the demand. So whatever you were building 2-3 years before with 10 engineers, you now only need 3. Whatever you were doing 2 years ago with a marketing agency, you can now, so not that I'm not talking here like full-fledged campaigns with lots of strategy behind. I'm talking of like smaller things, but you can now achieve all by yourself with $20 type of AI tools that help you with the image generation, with the design and whatnot. It's true that when you put an AI tool in the hands of an expert, if you put Claude in the hands of a programmer, it's going to be way better than you. When you put Gemini in the hands of a designer, it's going to be way better than you. But still, you can get your way with only these tools. So we're already looking at a saturation. One. The second point is it's gonna be an economy of creative minds. It's gonna be an economy. It's no longer the discussion and the challenge about how to do it. It's a discussion about what to do. The person that goes out there and finds the need and talks to the people and is best at bringing something on the market is gonna win. It's no longer an issue of finding programmers or finding the designers or finding the experts. It's a matter of being the first to understand the need, understand it better than anyone else, and then communicate to everybody that you solved it. Which leaves, so it's, we're adapting to this, and we're going to keep on adapting to this new reality. It's gonna be, and it already is, it's gonna be an economy of $10 million 2-person company. This is already possible. You have all the AI agents at your disposal to help you with coding, with marketing, with design, that you really need. Let's just not maybe 10 times less, but 3 times less people.
Yeah, it's interesting, very interesting, scary at the same time, right? Because a lot of people's jobs are definitely, or in jeopardy potentially when you talk about that, like coders, for example, right? Graphic designers, these jobs are all in jeopardy, but they don't have to be. If they take the lessons that you just mentioned right there and adopt these $20 tools here and there to make themselves the one-stop shop for a lot of those things, I think it's going to benefit everybody individually. Like I said, it's all going to come down to our creative minds.
Yeah. And some others, the truth is, and I had the conversation with some of my programmer friends, we're just going to start do tiles and flooring and electrical circuits. Now, something that it's not, I don't know how it's in the US, but for instance, here in Romania, if you want to build a water installation, heating installation, or an electrical installation, you're gonna wait for 2 or 3 weeks. And it doesn't matter, like you can be the CEO, the whoever you want, right? B2B AI SaaS.
Yeah.
When the expert, the person says, I'm gonna be available tomorrow for your flooring, you make yourself available tomorrow.
Yeah.
No questions, because otherwise you're gonna wait another month.
Yep, that's true. Very good. Cristian, if our audience has any questions for you, what's the best way for them to get in touch?
Either on the With Analytica website, on the CatStats website. I'm present on LinkedIn. I'm present on Instagram. On LinkedIn, I'm Cristian Ionescu. On Instagram, I'm Affiliate Data Insider. I'm not the best person at SEO, and when your last name is Ionescu, it's already difficult. But I think one way or another, I'm findable.
Yeah, awesome. Cristian, thanks for your time.
Thank you as well for having me.
Hey, thank you, podcast listener, for checking out that episode of Drop the Mic. If you liked that episode, I would love it if you went on over to your podcast platform and left us a 5-star review. And if you don't want to miss an upcoming episode of Drop the Mic, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Thanks again. See you soon.